So welcome everyone on this very special webinar, the webinar that is giving us some extra medical background, physically and mentally, around the whole coronavirus pandemic right now in the world. We as Female Wave of Change, we really want to inform everyone in the world. It's not only women, but it's the men, it's families, it's everyone that we want to inform. We want to spread knowledge, of course, the exact knowledge, what is happening. And what is very important for us as women on this platform is that we want to support each other, but also support the women and the families in the world. You know, there are so many people from all over the world who are connected that we want to reach out to them as well. So support and action, you know, if you have any tips on what we can do, please share that with us. So I'm going to give the floor to Shashi. If you start, then you know, if we have any questions, we'll come back to you.
Thank you, Egon, for giving me this platform to be connected with all, and definitely it's the time to be unite, keeping a part of our, definitely female spirits are always there, and we are unite, and we are going to be take it more strongly in all over the world. But it's a time to be connected with family, with the different keeping all genders aside, and to be unite to deal and fight with this pandemic situation, which is all around the world. People are getting scared, people are having a lot of issues, and today we have in our team Dr. Atirek Goel. And I think regarding the medical expertise, we can hear more from him. So I think let him first get, it's nice if we can get first his ideas and what exactly all is this about, and how we can take precautionary things, or what is how we can do. And I will be happy to further go with the mental health and well-being, how we can deal with it, which is very important, which is a time to ourselves, how we can keep, because everywhere we know things are shutting down, and it can be stressful, but how we can make out of most, that's the situation. So I would be happy to give this platform right now to Dr. Atirek Goel. Welcome, Dr. Atirek, and thank you for joining us. Please go ahead and explain more about the situation and coronavirus and all in detail. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for introducing me. And I would really want to reiterate the fact that this is a very tense situation all over the world. And as far as the condition in various parts of the world is concerned, in the tropical regions, the things are, I mean, the future looks ahead a little bit better than those places which are little temperate areas and the colder places, because there the virus is going to stay further, and the transmission of virus is also going to stay further. Well, there is a great amount of as far as theoretical and practical knowledge is concerned, but I would really appreciate if we would have specific questions from all the various participants we have at this platform. And I would really, because there is so much about this virus which is going on, I would be answering those specific questions if everybody can pinpoint what exactly one is interested in knowing about. So I would open the forum, and I would like from all of you to gather, whatever queries or whatever information, because there's a lot of information available on the net, as well as various books are also available. But it's absolutely different when you have one-to-one conversation. So I open the dialogue. Thank you.
Okay, so well, let me start, and then the others will follow. One of the things, of course, is what we see right now is that there's a lot of things shutting down and a lot of decisions taken that, globally, but also locally, and they can be very different decisions. And I think that not everywhere, everyone is very much aware why these decisions are taken, even in areas where there are not so many people who have caught the virus. But that, that we really have to do, and that we have to all to take responsibility. I love to hear your idea about that.
The closing down, as far as closing down is concerned, the basic, I personally feel that it is more politically, and it's a sort of paranoia which is crept into the society nowadays about everything. And there were always viruses from the eternity, and we have a history of big pandemics before also. And it's not the first time human beings are having such kind of viruses all around. The basic thing is that it is a virus only family, can say. It's in somewhere in the eastern ends of the world, and now because it has spread and it has joined the group of more viruses of already, which we know, common cold, flu viruses, bird flu virus, because it is an burden on health, extra burden on the people still are not infected. So I think that is a basic reason people who are still away from the virus do not want this virus is going to be very soon become a household virus. It's just a matter of few months, or you can say maybe the end of this year. It will be spread everywhere, and it will be part of your part of household. I mean, it is happening in UK also. You can see that in UK, people who are coming to hospitals to just inquire about the virus, they are being sent home to just self-isolate themselves. And in case there is any exacerbation of symptoms, they can revert back to the hospital. So it's like getting the immunity with time, and it is like to develop that level of immunity which should be spread slowly. It should not become a sudden wave of spreading the infection, but it is a sort of we all are supposed to get the virus sooner or later and get immune to it. It's like developing an antibody against it and making a part of it. So getting away from it, closing down things, and this is all temporary measures. In the end, we could not control any virus till date. We could not control swine flu. We could not control bird flu. They all ended up their own fate, and many are still persisting. On and off, we have pandemics, or I beg your pardon, the epidemic of swine flu still persisting in many corners of the world. But we are not that much frightened about it, because it is a new virus. It is something new, and the vaccine is still not available. There is a slight scary situation that is coming up. Otherwise, I personally think it should be taken as peacefully as any other cold or any other virus which is being there since long. So as far as shutting the border is concerned, I personally feel it's not helping. Because the people, once it is infected, the person gets infected, he has a big incubation period, and he might be asymptomatic and spreading the infection. So the incubation period is incubation period really means, the people who don't understand, incubation is a silent period. So silent period can be from 2 days to 2 weeks. So a person may be in the community for 2 weeks without knowing he is having the virus and he's spreading it. So it doesn't make real sense to shut off the things, and because bottom line is it is all done just to have a sort of a retaliatory sort of thing, because once a thing is going on, we have to show our efforts to curb it. But bottom line is it's not gonna help that much.
Okay, I see there's a question in the chat box from Marta. Are children more or less at risk to transfer the virus? There's a lot of things, of course, going on about, and we're all mothers, grandmothers, I still have my mother alive, so it's all about families, what women are talking about. Um, and especially, if I look at the situation right here in the Netherlands, around us, the countries, they've all shut down the schools, but here they haven't so far. So, and I hear what you've already been saying about shutting down and things like that. But how about the situation, the children and the elderly? They're all part of our families.
Yeah. Well, speaking, children are blessed in this virus. I mean, children are almost getting minors getting out of it, and most of them are even not getting any symptoms at all. So by the grace of you can say nature or God, children are saved almost till the level of 99 and more than 9 children are coming out. Children are blessed in that. But as far as our elderly population is concerned, and the statistics which is showing is anybody who is 60 plus, or a person who is having any prior disease, will be heart disease, anybody is having diabetes, or he is having COPD, that is any pulmonary disease or any disease of the lung, is more at risk. So the people who are having healthy lungs are elderly. I mean, they are at almost negligible risk to suffer any complications. But the problem with the viruses is that they get mutated also. So now it is coronavirus, which has got L and S strain, and in future they are saying that there is very much. So the bottom line is, right now we'll get a new vaccine, but there is no guarantee that after a couple of months. Now, coming to the question of how to protect our elderly population, I think elderly population was always susceptible to these viruses and pneumonias, bacterial pneumonias. So first of all, they need to be protected from the bacterial pneumonias initially, because initially they get viral diseases, and subsequent they don't the patient, or they are kept at a distance from the patient, and specifically pretty bad on temperature. So I think our elderly population needs some kind of isolation from the specifically if they're moving around, and if they're not they're not well cared, or some diseases should be taken care primarily. And if there are in good health conditions, I think coronavirus still has around 20, maximum 20% of mortality, which was prevalent in other diseases also, but slightly higher because it's a new virus. The organism is not used to its concern. There is a sign of slight alarm, which has been saw in Italy specifically, and uh, such places where it's still the climate is very much favorable for the elderly population. Should stay at home, avoid contact with the multiple people, and all the WHO guidelines which have been guided to us as far as maintaining a distance with the people who are having active symptoms, and avoid the crowded areas. So that will help specifically our elderly population. Um, uh, I would appreciate if you could specify what exactly would you like me to reiterate about the elderly population.
Anyone else?
I think there is.
Yep.
I think there is a question from Adriana Mayer. She is asking, what extra measures would you recommend for senior population?
Yeah, well, he has been talking about that. So yes, that was, it is a group that worries. And especially, you know, if we see this morning, we have in our global team app, I know that the line is not very clear. So I hope that we can keep it up. We do get the message, so that is good. I see, for instance, for this morning in the UK, when I see read the global team app, UK is talking about the elderly, really putting them in isolation for at least 4 months. And then it's really, you know, how are you going to take care of them? How are you going to, you know, already my mother, you know, after one day, she feels alone, and you know, it would break my heart if we would all have to stay away, and you know, that would really be bad.
Hmm.
4 months, that's long.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Not advisable. Because for elderly person, social well-being is the most important thing. So I don't think so. If you isolate a person, that means movement of a person. So I think that's not advisable. It's not advisable. It's unrealistic, actually,
Okay.
to isolate anybody, and that's not going to solve problem. Paranoia that is only going to increase, because you cannot control population groups from one place to another. So even if somebody gets isolated and there are peer groups around, one person is sufficient to infect everyone. So that is the bad part of it. So I don't think so it's a good idea of isolating anybody.
Oh, I see a good question here is, for instance, what are the channels or objective factual information? So if we want to look up information, because you say there's a lot of medical information already available online, what are good news channels or, you know, resources that we can look up?
The best resource is the WHO. If you have to search, just Google WHO. There are guidelines on WHO which are almost on daily basis. So I would appeal that, and I would recommend that these WHO guidelines should be followed, and not follow any guidelines, because they are it's like a bank. It's taking the guidelines from many countries, because people are getting research and a lot of things are going on with this virus now. It's like history making. We are making history in reality. So many things about this virus are still unknown. So I mean, about the virus, genetic code is known, but that doesn't mean everything is known as far as is how the virus propagates, or what is the best situation, or at what level, or what level is going to, it's mutating or not. So every day we have got new information, but if you follow WHO guidelines, I think that would be best, and we would not waver to any fake news sort of thing.
Okay, good. The other thing is, and ladies, please step in if you want to, if you have any questions. But, you know, we are very much an organization. We want to act. We want you to support. We want to, you know, go out and do things. You know, we feel very much like, how can we step in as women, as leaders, as you know, to really act on the situation that is on our hands, and what is the thing that you feel is best to do now? very quiet. Yeah.
That
Shashi?
his,
Yeah.
I think he might, his connection is might be losing.
Yeah.
I think maybe we should type or something,
Yeah.
because I don't know, is he here or no?
Well, maybe we can set up. He has already given us a lot of information, and what I like about it is that it's not stress, it's not pressure, it's not, it is about, we have to deal with this. Don't panic. Don't, this is something we really have to go through, and there's no reason to, this is just part of life. That is the message I get. Yeah. So, you from a perspective, from your background, Sashi, can you add anything? I think you can add a lot.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Atirek, and thank you, Egon, for definitely this is very key information he shared with us about, like, don't get panicked, don't get stressed. And it is again one sort of new virus, because we are every day we are developing. So these are also things are developing around us, I can say like that. But how we can stay ourselves mentally healthy and keep ourselves in a positive state of mind. So for that, I just would like to share some of the points, and I hope it will just let me see how I can share. So I will share. mm, how I can there's a file I would like to
There's this green button, share.
yeah, and just I want to add the details which I want to share, but
Your screen.
yes.
And then choose desktop, share desktop.
Okay. So okay, share, and there is a document. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Yes. Is it audible? Is it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So since I was talking about mental health and well-being, and in the current situation due to this pandemic, people are mostly, because countries are panicking, they are blocking out, they are stopping everything, keeping your children inside, keep yourself inside. And a lot of media and all, they are definitely they are source of awareness and creating knowledge about all of things what are going around us. But directly indirectly they are source of giving us more stress, and it impact our personal health and well-being. But how can we cope up with this situation? So the first, when we are talking about, we should know what is mental health and why it is important in current worldwide pandemic of coronavirus. So mental health is related to, is defined as the state of person well-being, and well-being is categorized by different way. So where we have to see our social well-being, emotional well-being, physical well-being, spiritual, environmental, intellectual, occupational, financial. Where we are talking about this in current situation, social well-being, we feel like we got isolated, we are not having no connection, we are no having no way to communicate or go outside or meet with others. And I think in that way our uh, female way of change is doing really great job, that we are much ahead and using the technology most, how we can feel ourselves connected and keeping our social well-being and keeping ourselves mentally healthy. So there are some points I think everyone can see. So like use the tools to connect it, like find the new way to be connected with the schools, family, friends, and use a virtual platform, spend time with your family, because usually what happens, we are running and we are putting tasks on everyone's head. Okay, you have class, you have to go this class, I am going for this my work. And it is very much common in, especially when we are working females, and even in general whoever. So So we don't really get time of our social well-being, means connected with our own family, our own really friends. So spend time in terms of like just make a call and ask how are you, what's cooking, something just normal. Keep away yourself with this stressful topic about coronavirus. The more you talk, the more you get stressed. So basically you are trying to connect yourself socially with your friends, with your family, and same time you are getting your mental health in a positive direction. So there are some points which I find like which is be important to share and can be helpful for all the group. uh, and then next it comes to our social emotional well-being. So in emotional well-being, keep yourself in positive way. You know, it's as I already mentioned, seeing news is a good thing, but really getting involved in it, see, checking every an hour. I checked many of my friends, they get so much panic. They're saying, is I'm the only one who is checking every hour the news status? I said, no, that's not good thing you are doing. You are really getting yourself stressed up and you know, putting more negativity. That's good to know what's going on, but keeping yourself same time in positive way. That's as earlier our medical expertise guide, he mentioned us that this is again new sort of virus and new sort of thing. And like today we can solve this issue about virus, but maybe then other new strain will come and we again face the same situation. So we should know how we can you know, keep ourselves positive and mentally healthy. So, and sense of self, having a strong sense of self. It's, I think, typing mistake, yeah. And self-esteem. Don't put yourself like, oh, I'm gonna get infected, I'm not, I'm very weak. No, you have this time to understand your strength, your emotions. Keep your emotion in positive direction. The more you are negative, the more you are stressed, you are prone to you know, it is related to your immunity and your health. So keep your emotional health in a positive direction, in productive ways. It's very, very important. And the next, when we talk about after social and emotional, it comes on physical, which is I'm seeing in many cases people are saying, oh, like, I'm not able to go to gym. And it is applies for me as well, because I was initially, when the gym was closed here, I was feeling like, now I have no option, what should I do? But then I started finding, okay, it's time to develop maybe new kind of learning, do Zumba, start some music and start some yoga, start and it remind me my old yoga practices, meditation, and cook yourself fresh food and hot meal, which is again, I think in the current scenario, um, which is recommended, like if you are eating fresh cooked hot meal is good, and avoid cold food. So I really recommend, like, if we can think in that direction, how we can be mentally healthy and well-being, if, because it's all about our how much we are in positive way, in productive way engaged. If we are not positive way and productive way engaged, and we are not channelizing our physical health and our energy, we will feel stressed. Because it's very much important to follow your routine. You have to, okay, get up at the same time as you used to get up in your office hours or in your general time. Get up, do your routine work, sit with your work, maybe with your laptop, or read a book, or it's time to explore so many different things. So it's one of the way you can do physical well-being. Put your mat in your living room and do some crunches or some exercise. And especially in our female group, it's very important, very, very important, because we are the one who are around, surrounded by the kids, and because the school shut down, yeah. And then next it comes to our spiritual well-being, which is uh, live holistically, take the thing wholesome way. Your mental, physical, social, emotional, all the things think in a compound, not in separate way. So that way you can, if you are thinking, you are taking things in a more realistic way. You will understand that what is going on around and how we can deal with it. what we can do. And as other ways, observe nature. Usually now it's time, just sit by your window and just see your beauty surrounded by us. What kind of architecture is surrounded by us? I think many times we don't notice. We just pass by, we take things for the granted in our life. So just surrounded by your window and just observe, oh, what is this building architecture shows, what this is plant or trees or garden or this road is. So observe the nature, and then find the connection between the self and nature. So it is again, like as I mentioned, so see your surroundings, how the nature is teaching us. Because I can relate it to this pandemic. It's like nature is taking time, and it wants to breathe. We are always talking about the way, okay, we need to this climate and this all environment action we need to take. I think we before us, the nature is taking itself its action, and it is now finding its own rhythm and giving us message. We also have to find our rhythm. We should not exploit, and we should not spoil the rhythm of nature and our own human being. So I feel that's the kind of thing that is very important. Like find that, okay, this is the just a virus which is stopping us to do, because it wants to breathe. The traffic is less, pollution is less, people are less on the road. So again, it is reviving and itself to give us again new life. So if we think this way, that is in spiritually, it will help us for our well-being and mental health. Then mindful practices, but whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm speaking, is it really helpful for me or for others? So if we think before speaking or doing, if we think being mindful, what is really purpose of all about? Can I avoid it? Yes or no? If I'm thinking, okay, I need to, it really makes sense if I'm speaking this, I should go ahead. If I feel like, no, it doesn't make sense, if I'm just speaking about again and again, it's just creating stress, nothing else. So I can avoid that. So that's very important. Develop mindful practices. Usually in our workplace, there's a lot of politics, lot of lot of work pressure and stress. We don't pay attention what's going on. We just want to get rid of our emotions, our feeling, our work pressure, everything, and it is very common. But I think it's time to develop our mindful practices and to see, is it really the way I have to do further, or I can develop some good mindful practices and find higher purpose in day-to-day life. Just we are running around our work and home, work, home, job, nothing. Usually in day-to-day life, we don't find more than that. But I think this time is giving us opportunity to find our higher purpose, what we really want to be achieve, or what we really want to leave the impact in this world. So find your higher purpose is kind of spiritual well-being. It gives you more strength, give you more positivity. And the next is environmental well-being. As I earlier mentioned, bit of about so some of the other way, declutter your wardrobe. We have full of clothes, we don't get time. Today I'm taking this, okay, that's all, I don't have time. But I think this is the time when we are having at home, just or reorganize, find, is it really necessary? Or if it's not, okay, declutter, do it, use your time that way. Drink more lemon water or green tea rather than cokes and pops. So that way it will be helpful for your environment as well as for our well-being. And be aware about the natural threat and stay away from it. So natural threat is like, as I would like to say, like, it's a natural threat. It is trying to, nature is giving, by coronavirus is giving us threat. We should not exploit it, we should not do it. So if we just try to be more mindful and develop more practices to be nature friendly. And again, as I mentioned about this nature breathing and all. So, and up next is use the maximum what is available at home. try to find, okay, can we recycle it? Can we reuse it? So be environment friendly, be more, nature friendly. It's give us environmental well-being and connected with our nature, and as well as accomplished feeling. Yes, I am doing something for this environment, for this climate. So as a female, we really can take this step. And the next is intellectual well-being, and I think our most of female group, female way of change is already ahead in this, and I no need to say much about this because they are way ahead. They are, I know they are reading their favorite books, developing their new skills, and write your ideas on paper, share and acknowledge your strength and weakness in particular subject. So whatever my strength, my weakness, I should find out and work on that. Maybe this is time to find out some of my intellectual interest and well-being, in the sense, is really I'm doing this work, is really making me feel accomplished and good, or if not, what should I do? What should I find the new way to develop my work and skills? So we can develop those things. Develop curiosity and interest about something, which is very important to keep us positive, keep us alive, rather than keeping us monotonous, and many times we feel stagnant in our life. So this is the time I feel, if things are shutting down, we should take it opportunity to make us ourselves more curious and find our interests to develop something new. And then the next is occupational well-being and mental health. So usually people are finding, okay, my office is they are closed, or they are asking me to do, how can I manage, if because I am every day I'm coming back to my home. So find out time, that how this is the season, okay, this is time I no need to travel more, because this is countries are shutting down, so you can save that time, and you can manage more work-life balance by working from home, or just taking less hours for your communicate and travel around. And then take a step back and develop new ways to accomplish your work. Might be some of people, those are not needed to go to office, and their work can be done by being at home. So that way you are developing your occupational well-being. You are having good connected with your employees and employers, and same time you are able to accomplish the given task, which you never know that you can do by sitting at home. You are always just getting ready and running to your office, but maybe you can do that way as well. So and then same time share new work tools with your employers, and give them new learning tools. Next is financial well-being, and which is very much bad hit by, especially for the labor class, or I can say the low skill level people, because they earn their daily wages on the day-to-day basis, and whereas things are shut down, they have no opportunity to run their life. But I think same time they have time to understand how they can develop their new skills, and time to understand their financial well-being, how uh, develop in most of cases we are, as a female, we know our work, we know what we are doing, but we are very poor to manage our own finances. We are very poor in banking, in financing, in stock market, in trading, and we just randomly ask our wealth manager, okay, so the wealth manager suggested this is fund is going very good, this mutual fund you should invest, you should take this plan and all. I think this time you should read more, you should understand more, is what way I should develop more my financial stability. As a female, we really work hard, we manage our family, we manage our work, everything, but same time we don't manage our financial knowledge. We should really take in our hand this uh, point, and be in charge of our own financial knowledge and gather the knowledge, what is going on in market, what can be the more sustainable way to generate my income every time, rather than just going randomly and putting how I can do in markets, how I can do trading, and how I can do this market related. There are a lot of related books are related to this, and so read banking, finance, and other related books and gather this knowledge. So that's the one thing we can develop as our well-being. So these are the just core things to be following the well-being aspects, so we can achieve our mental health, as I above stated. And one of the factor and combination of factor we can do, if we are doing even one factor, we are having our mental health, because we know where we are standing, and one factor, then second and third, we can achieve our well-being. And I think this is the time when this situation is shutting down, fearful, stressful. We can fight with this coronavirus by using any one or maybe combination of factors, or maybe all. We can develop our mental health. That's the main thing I would like to say. And in conclusion, I just would like to say, don't go with the fake news. Don't keep going with the, we can just see maybe that's basic guidelines as WHO, I think previously Dr. Atirek said, and that's enough for us. Yeah. And that's that way I would like to just conclude.
Well, thank you very much, Shashi. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone who has questions or anything to add? Well, I don't think there's anything to add, because if we're all going to do everything that's on the list, we need at least a whole year to in isolation. That's not going to happen. But there's some really, really, really good advice, tips for us to focus on. And the thing is, and that is what I like, if you are going to refocus the things that you are thinking and the things that you're busy with, and also being creative, we as women, we can be very creative in all kinds of things. That you're going to take your mind off everything that we have to face right now in society, and that is very good. Anyone?
Yes, Bonnie.
Bonnie.
Yes, I'm. I'm practicing some of what you said, Shashi. So I am going completely natural in the way I'm dressed and all today.
That's a beautiful way of actually. Sorry, that's a beautiful.
First of all, thank you so much. That was so beautifully complete. And I think it's the authentic feminine way of looking at things, is holistically. My question to you is the following. Is this your personal material that I could be using in some ways and quoting you on?
Yes, it is. I have been created and I'm using in my some of training and at my embassy as well. But here I concluded all the points, which is, and I speak so fast because I don't want to feel like, okay, you're really getting overwhelmed. So you can take one point and get elaboration. That would be, I think, nice if you have good time to share. Yeah.
Wonderful. What I would like to do is, for one of my organizations, which is Age Esteem, I would like to break this up into however many topics you had, blogs. But I'd like to be giving you credit if it's your material. So I will do that. And I will do it with the greatest of joy, as well as saying I heard it all on Female Wave of Change. Thank you for making it so complete, so clear. And I think it was especially exciting to look at the environmental and your approach to leading us to the positives, because I believe that at this particular point in time, we are being offered a gift, and that gift is to step forward as authentic feminine leaders and show the world there is a new way of thinking, there is a new way of acting, and there is definitely a new way of leading the world forward. So just thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Bonnie. Yeah, you can go ahead and share. Yeah.
Thank you. This is Yvonne, Dr. Shashi. I think for me, this is just like wow, I'm so grateful. Yes, we've been doing other things, but you've just given us such a good structure and the tools, because I believe that knowing is good, but if we can't bridge the gap between knowing and doing, then we always go back to the same. But I guess my moments where I really felt, oh, so good, is that, yes, let's do the right thing and also get to that space that, you know, yes, we need the knowledge, we need the tools, but we also need to go to our source, we need to go deeper. I love meditation and praying and all that. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you. It's my pleasure.
I think that's also where, well, you know, the strength of female wave of change lies right now, you know, to see things like this, you know, just being done and organized at the last minute. And, you know, Mommy Yvonne, she just spoke, but, you know, the first event that we did last Friday, that was also so powerful, you know, doing that meditation, really go deep and really go deep to who we are as feminine leaders, as authentic feminine leaders. That is so important right now, and so that we can act from who we are, and keep our, you know, our mind there where it should be. Really good. Anyone else?
I would like to thank Dr. Shashi and Dr. Atirek for the brilliant, inspirational talks. And just by being in contact with positive people and leaders like you guys, we are bringing to all that surrounds us hope and faith during these difficult times. And again, thank you so much for bringing all the new information and keeping us together as we make a wave of change. Thank you. Much love.
Good. Well, you both are you know, residing in Qatar, and Adriana, of course, is ambassador of Qatar. You know that where you can find these two. So
Yes.
maybe in the future there's some more that we can do. But yes, we are very grateful that you could make the time. Also, I know the time, you know, time-wise in the hospitals right now, is a crazy time. So we're really grateful also, Dr. Goel, that you are here and answered our questions, and Shashi, well, also, you know, to make the difference. Thank you very much. And yes, we are sharing the recordings also. I asked that before, so please use it, and use it in your communities. Use it to share. And I know also Tabello asked if you could share it in South Africa. Yes, you can. So, you know, we want to reach as many people as possible with wisdom as has been shared with us today. So thank you all very much. Thank you for your time, for your wisdom. Hope you all have a wonderful Sunday, and please share this news, this knowledge with everyone around you.
Ingen, could
Yes?
you please